Racism is a system of oppression that has deep roots in our society. It unfairly favors one group over others, creating an imbalance of power and opportunity. This discrimination is based on race or ethnicity, leading to widespread inequality. Sadly, it's been a part of human history for far too long. Racism is about power and control. It's about one group thinking they are superior to another, often leading to harmful ideologies. This belief leads to discrimination and prejudice, affecting countless lives. We see it in housing, education, and even healthcare, where disparities are evident. It's a global issue that needs our attention and collective action to address. We need to understand its roots, its impact, and work together to fight it effectively. Education and awareness are key in this battle.
Racism's history is complex and deeply rooted. Some argue that it started with the slave trade. European powers took Africans from their homes and enslaved them. They justified this by saying Africans were inferior. This period was a dark chapter in human history. But racism existed before this. Throughout history, groups have feared those who are different. This fear often leads to hate and prejudice. We see it in the way people were treated based on their religion or culture.
Colonialism played a major role in spreading racist ideas and ideologies that have persisted through generations. As European powers colonized different parts of the world, they brought with them not just their technology and governance, but also their prejudices and biases. They imposed their beliefs on the native populations, often disregarding and devaluing the rich cultures and traditions that already existed. They often saw the colonized people as inferior, which justified their exploitation and harsh treatment. This belief in racial superiority was used to rationalize many injustices. This legacy of colonialism still impacts us today, influencing societal structures and contributing to systemic inequalities. Many countries are still dealing with the effects of racist systems put in place during colonization, struggling to dismantle these deeply entrenched structures. It's a reminder that racism isn't just a thing of the past. The echoes of colonialism continue to reverberate through time. It's an ongoing issue that we need to address with urgency and commitment through education, activism, and systemic change.
Section 4. Measuring racism, a difficult task. Identifying the most racist countries is difficult and potentially misleading. Racism exists everywhere, but it manifests differently. Surveys and studies can highlight certain trends. However, they can't capture the full complexity of racism in a society. Factors like hate crimes, discrimination in housing or employment, and representation in government all play a role. It's important to look beyond rankings and examine the systemic factors that perpetuate racism in all countries. Section 5. Combating racism, a collective responsibility. Fighting racism is everyone's responsibility. It's not enough to simply not be racist ourselves. We need to actively challenge racist systems and beliefs. This starts with education. We need to learn about the history of racism and its ongoing impact. We also need to challenge racist jokes and stereotypes. Silence is complicity. We need to stand up for those experiencing racism. By working together, we can create a more just and equitable world.
Section 6. Hope for the future. Despite the bleak history of racism, there is hope for the future. This hope is fueled by the resilience and determination of countless individuals who refuse to accept the status quo. The fight for equality has made significant progress. From the brave actions of civil rights leaders in the past to the tireless efforts of modern-day activists, each step forward has been hard-won. From the civil rights movement to the ongoing fight for social justice, we see people standing up against racism and discrimination. These movements have brought about critical changes in laws and societal attitudes. The rise of social media has given a voice to the marginalized. Platforms like Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook have become powerful tools for advocacy, allowing stories of injustice to reach a global audience. It has helped to raise awareness about the impact of racism. Educational workshops and public discussions have become more prevalent, fostering a deeper understanding of the systemic issues at play. However, we still have a long way to go. The disparities and challenges faced by marginalized communities are still significant, and the fight for true equality is far from over. We must continue to challenge racism in all its forms. This means not only addressing overt acts of discrimination, but also tackling the more subtle, systemic issues that perpetuate inequality. By working together, educating ourselves and future generations, and promoting understanding and empathy, we can create a world free from racism. Education is a powerful tool in this fight, helping to break down prejudices and build a more inclusive society. It's a long and difficult journey, but one that is essential for the future of humanity. Each step we take brings us closer to a world where everyone is treated with the dignity and respect they deserve.